Welcome to this thing called life.
And we're back. Sorry, we apologize. We did not have an episode for you guys last weekend. It was, St. Patty's Day weekend. Everybody had plans. It was kind of hard, and then obviously family stuff and dealing with kids trying to go to bed on time. It was tough to try to get together for everyone, so we apologize. But hey, we're back out of here. Episode 13. First of all, Michael, how are you?
Good, man. St. Patrick's Day was wonderful. I got a little drunk, and I did two things I've never done before, and that is eat olives off a pizza and drink a V8 seltzer drink. Never done those two things in my life before, and I did those on St. Patrick's Day.
So the company V8 makes a seltzer drink?
No, it was a custom drink.
Oh, okay. I see where that was going. I think.
Hangover preventer.
So, anyways, yeah. So, dude, I want to say last week's, but 2 weeks ago, that Devin Shelton episode, that was awesome. That was great, dude. He coming, him coming on here and having all that discussion with us and talking about everything, literally. I think we covered everything from band to religious views and all that. And dude, what did you think? It was just so much fun.
I listened to that twice already, and he put us on that labeled podcast, and I've been on that thing. I just got back from Midland, and it's a 4-hour drive there, 4-hour drive back, and I listened to a bunch of them, so I'm all caught up. I literally know how Tooth and Nail Records came to be because of Devin Shelton. So thank you, Devin, for giving me that lead. That was awesome.
Yeah, I listened to one of those episodes. Shout out to Labeled, those guys. Check out the podcast. I listened to the Mike Herrera one because they had the MXPX one on there, and that was just like crazy, and they got all these old sound bites and everything, and it was cool, and it was pretty well done. I thought it's different. It's different, It's not really just us talking. Like there's backstories and like all these audio clips from like years ago of these guys talking. So I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, very well produced. Tooth and Nail put a lot of money out there for each one of those episodes to be produced, and I think it's a good investment. I think it's going to come back around to them. I think Tooth and Nail is probably going to have a resurgence here in the next 5-10 years, and I think you're going to see emo, screamo, punk make a huge comeback in the next 5 years because of this. That's just my prediction, to be honest. So
totally. So a little some house chores to get out of the way, guys. If you haven't yet, head over to ttclpod.com. That's our website. You can find all of our social media links there, not only for the podcast, but also our personal. Follow all of us everywhere there. Follow all of us. Like it's like many, just besides me and you. I talked like there's like 5 people here. But follow all of us. I don't even know how else to word it. Follow us. Anyways, yeah, and also leave a 5-star review. Just click the 5-star, tap 5 stars, submit on your iTunes podcast, on your Apple Podcast app. We appreciate that. It helps us out in the rankings. And, we're doing this just because we enjoy talking about this stuff and hopes that it reaches someone and helps them out some way. So, anyways, enough of the chores. We cleaned it up. Michael, classic dad joke. Are you ready?
Give it to me, Papa.
Who was the roundest knight of King Arthur's table? It was Circumference.
Oh my God.
I took that one off a commercial actually, and Circumference, get it? Yeah. Anyways, Jesus. Dad jokes, and speaking of dad stuff, we're going to talk a little bit about some parenting things today. Why don't you tell them what's on tap, Michael?
Well, apparently there's a situation that I think all of us, everybody that has kids, and maybe, you just observe parents and their kids, there's a spoiling thing, you see kids getting a lot of shit. You see them being coddled too much. You see, too many toys. You see here's fourth place trophy. You see this shit, going around, and I don't know. I don't know. I see it and it aggravates me a little bit. I'm in the barbershop every day and I see this kid acting like a little shit, and he's old enough to know better, but they spoil him. They give him the iPad, and they give him the candy, and they give him the toy. When is it enough, Dave? When is it?
When is it
What the
enough?
fuck? When is it enough, David?
So we're gonna be talking about that. Also, confrontation, and I have a story to back that up when we get there because it happened to me recently at work. So we'll talk about that. Also, to start this episode off, Mike's been busy, like he just said. He's been traveling a little bit, catching up on some podcasts, and he's gonna talk about what he's been doing the past week for this or weekend.
Yeah, the past 2 weekends I have been educating. I'm back in the education circuit. I put myself back on the circuit because with the new baby, I wanted to make sure I spent these first couple months, these first precious couple months, you know, hanging out with the baby, hanging out with the fam, making sure I get up and, do the milk, do the diapers. I feel like there's so much joy in that and I don't want to miss that. So that's what I've been doing. And now that I'm back in the education circuit, I did 2 classes, 2 weekends in a row, and I forgot how tiring teaching is and traveling is. And I drove both times, and normally I'm flying here and there, but because these are more local events, 4 hours west, 4 hours east, I drove. And honestly, I'm a little tired, but you know what? I'm happy. I'm kind of on a little high because both events were sold out. Over 50 people this morning at 8 a.m., which is really good for people to get up that early for education. That's great. And then we had, I think, 60 to 70 people over in Tucson, Arizona, which is awesome. And I just want to say, guys, if you are in an industry where you could use education, more knowledge, more advice, whatever it is. I mean, even if it's not even your industry or you just want any kind of help at all, it's totally worth it. I'm not saying spend thousands of dollars, but if it's $100 class and it's going to give you some benefits, just jump in and do it. I think it's worth it. Of course, I'm an educator saying that, but I've been to these events and I've heard educators and I educate with other educators that have taught me so much. So, man, I'm kind of like on a little high right now, man. I got good responses from both crowds. I had one heckler in Tucson, kind of a dickhead, just being an asshole, just kind of like going against the grain, asking stupid questions because he just was maybe a little drunk or whatever, just being a dick. You gotta ignore those guys, you gotta push them to the side, and you don't really need to confront them, which we'll talk about later. This particular situation was like the opposite of confrontation. It was like ignore that crazy guy on the left, you know. But Midland, Odessa, Texas was great. Everyone was wonderful, awesome questions, super engaged. I loved it. I love educating, man, and it's worth it. I love learning new things, and I think that's why people listen to podcasts. That's why you guys are here listening to us. It's not just because we're silly dads and we have fun and we do weird shit, but also because you might glean some kind of information that may help you in the future. And that's all education is. It's not saying I don't know nothing, so I need to go get educated. No, it's saying I would like to know more because I'm an ambitious person and I want to know more about life. And that's what this podcast is. So really, man, it all ties in together in the big picture. I'm always about the big picture at the end of the day. So that's what I've been up to. I'm grateful for it. I love education, and with that said, let's let's continue on to the next subject, Dave, because I could talk about education all day long. But
Sure.
you know,
Sure. So the next one is spoiling, and spoiling the kids. And like this happened, this is kind of everything that happened with me in life. This is where we kind of get our topics from. It's happened to us before, probably recently, and they're like, you know what, let's talk about this on the pod. And we had a friend give like three bags full of toys to us, which I appreciate. I appreciate them, handing down the toys to like my kid and whatnot. But it's been sitting in the garage for the past like month now, and I was doing some spring cleaning yesterday. It's getting nicer outside now. Hopefully, no more snow. And when I was going through the spring cleaning these bags, I was just like, I went up to my wife and I was like, can we just throw these things out? Like, he does not need all these toys. And if you have so many toys, it's like, it's going to be more of a mess to clean up. You know, and you know, I'm gonna be very, letting the kid have like an iPad or having some screen time, if you will, is fine with me. Totally fine. I mean, there's this show called Goo Goo Gaga that the kid loves. He laughs at it, and he's 6 months old. He laughs at it, smiles at it, like giggles with like the baby that doesn't even talk. It's just and they're tossing a ball, and it turns into a piano, and the piano starts playing music. Like I'm all for that, and I do think kids can learn stuff from screen time as well. There's those educational type of things that can all tie into their brain, and that's all fine. So, I agree with a certain amount of screen time, but then again, my kid is also going to be a kid that's going to go outside, play in the dirt, get dirty, climb a tree, all the shit I did when I was a kid.
Yeah, like ollie off a roof.
Yeah, I did that too, and, like that kind of stuff. So, I don't think he needs that many toys. And I understand people have, dedicated toy rooms in their houses. The kids have their own toy room. I get that. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm not against that. But if you have the room for a toy room for your kid, sure, great. I don't have an extra room for a toy room right now, But, that's great. But is there such a thing as too many toys? To me, yes.
I think, man, I had a lot of toys growing up for a little bit until we were poor. And then I had no toys. But that's another story for another time. But I would say that you definitely appreciate toys when you're broke. You know? So if you've been broke and then you have toys, you're like, oh, I remember when mommy and daddy couldn't get me shit,
Right.
But now it's different. So your kid is so young right now, so they're not going to even remember these toys.
Right.
So in your particular situation, I would say Salvation Army those bitches, bro.
Yeah, like I literally
donation time, bro.
Like I literally, like I said, I was doing spring cleaning. I took a truckload of shit to the dump. I was ready to take those toys with me and just throw them into the dump. Like I did not want them in my garage anymore, and they're just taking up space. And it's like the kid's like, how many toys does a kid need, And dude,
I don't think they need a lot of toys if they have like quality toys. Like you don't need quantity.
Right.
You need quality, right? Am I right or no? I mean,
yeah, sure. I mean, there's different toys that'll keep them busy longer, or certain toys that, he's going to love. And, that's going to go, whether it be a musical type of toy, and maybe the kid likes and he's into the musical toys, that's great. Buy him a couple musical toys. But like, it's just all these bags of random stuff. And I'm just like, oh man, like my OCD was kicking in. I just wanted to clean up, and these 3 bags of toys are just in the way, and there's a whole bunch of random stuff. And like my wife's like, I'm gonna go through them and pick out the ones that I think he'll like. And so, I don't think we're keeping all of them, thank God. But man, it just pushed my buttons when I was just like, I was getting so frustrated. I was like, I don't know what to do with these. I just want to throw them out. But
oh, dad life.
yeah, exactly. That's the parenting life. But
like, I'm getting stressed over these damn toys. I step on them and I have to dodge them. And I almost died the other day tripping down the stairs on one.
Right. And like one thing that drives me crazy too, which I love my wife to death, but she buys a new toy for the dog every time she goes out to like the store. She'll stop and get the dog a toy. Like the dog has more toys than me. All right.
We can do that.
and I mean, it's don't get me wrong. Like I said, I love my wife and I love my dog, obviously too. But my dog, like, there really isn't nothing like that first minute of excitement for when the dog gets a new toy. Like, he flails his back again. He's like hopping around like a deer playing or something in like the meadow, and he's throwing it around in the air and whatnot. That's like fun and exciting to watch. But like, too many toys. And then it's like, when do you get to the point when you start making them kind of, dwindle away and like out of your house? Like, when does that point start? You know, because like there's so much shit that my dog doesn't play with. Now I'm talking about my dog. There's so many shit that my dog doesn't play with, you know, and I'm just like, can we throw this out? No, he still plays. I'm like, what? Once a month? Like, you know, like let's just get rid of it.
He randomly finds it one day. I think. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me ask you. I mean, adults have toys too. We have toys, right? And I'm not
Yes.
talking about sex
Yes.
toys for those of you listening. I'm talking about
You kinky son of a bitches.
you sons, you six sons of bitches out there. I mean, let me ask you: would you rather have 3 shitty drum sets or like one badass drum set?
One badass drum set,
And why is that?
because I'd want it to sound good.
And
I
you can
would
only play
I
one drum set at a time.
I would want the quality, right? And you can only play one drum set at a time, so why would you need 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like my dog's got like 25 balls, you know what I mean? And like
All you need is 2 balls, and we know that.
hey, that's all you need.
So
You know, is there
So I don't know.
is there
Like
such a
this
thing?
goes back to spoiling children, though. Like, why spoil kids, or why even spoil other people's kids, just to spite the parents? I don't know. I don't. You know, grandma always goes too hard. You know, grandma, grandpa are spoiling kids all across the world.
I
You know, my
I
grandma spoiled me, and you know now I have a sweet tooth. I didn't get to eat donuts and chips at home,
yeah.
and then yet my grandma just every time I'd see her would give me donuts
Oh yeah.
and chips.
You know, like I think that just comes like with that, you know, being a grandparent. Like it's just like it's it's like a natural instinct almost as like a grandparent, you know, like, yeah, let's go to grandma's house, and they enjoy that, you know, coming from like a grandparent side of thing, and like so they want their grandchildren to enjoy. So I think that kind of comes like naturally, you know, it's just like a human instinct to like the grandparents have to spoil the grandkids.
Yeah, they want to spoil them so that it pisses off the parents like you and me, and then we get stuck with the little shitty attitude and a bunch of toys that they don't use anymore, and we're like, well, shit. I hope someone wants these toys because if we have a garage sale, I'm
Yeah.
looking at dealing with these. The time and energy I had to dodge these toys when they're on the floor and on the steps. I better get $1 a toy, at least $1. I want at least $1 for this fucking little car that he doesn't use anymore.
I mean, at least you're making a profit at, and you know, at it for a kid in the end.
I'm just trying to turn a frown upside down. You know, it's like Jesus.
That's a fun
Oh,
one.
the struggles.
Oh.
The struggles are real.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Meanwhile, the kid is just walking around, doesn't know what's going on. They think everything's hunky dory.
Yep.
Mom and dad are tripping shit.
Yeah. You know, and then you step on a leg, go, oh god, and the kid's like,
Start raging in the house.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's funny.
Good time.
Moral of the story: don't spoil your kids. All right, you're just stressing yourself out when you do that.
I mean, like, what if it's an only child?
They're like born to be spoiled. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't even matter. Like if they're the
You know?
only kid, like there's no way.
There's
not.
no stopping. There's no stopping them. They're gonna be spoiled.
You're destined to be entitled your whole fucking life. You know what I mean? Like you just wake up thinking everything just comes to me. It's normal. Your whole life is like the book The Promise or The Secret. I mean, the Secret where you just think it and it happens for you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just want chocolate cake, and boom, it just appears chocolate cake. Like, wow, it's amazing.
What? Grandma and grandpa's house, chocolate cake? Yes, let's go. No.
I must be magical. No, you're just the only child. That's it.
You're just only child, honey. That's all. Oh my goodness. Ugh. Anyways, enough of that. Let's get to the serious topic.
Okay.
The serious topic, confrontation. So I had an incident happen recently at work, and I mean, I'll tell the story because I don't care.
Okay,
So,
I like that. Dude, I finally like that you don't care. You hit a place where you're like, you know what, fuck it, I'm telling the story. Here we go.
like,
Hold on to your ass.
so, you know, where I work, there's different routes. People have their own full-time routes, and then, you know, technically by the rules of the union book, you're not supposed to be pulled off your route if you have your own full-time route. And this happened to me recently, and I went into because like I ended up getting a text message from the boss in the morning. It said, "Listen, I need you to cover this route," and I was pissed because it was on a Friday. All right, it was on a Friday, and so gearing up for the weekend, getting ready for the weekend. I wake up in the morning. I'm like, yes, I know what I'm doing. I'm doing my route because I got my own full-time route. I'm doing my route. I'm going to bang it. I'm going to bang it out, get home, see the wife and kid, start my weekend, and, be mentally prepared in the morning, knowing where I'm going to be, knowing which streets I'm going to be going down, knowing the area I'm going to be in. I'm like, yes, let's go. And then I get that text message. All right, so now I'm pissed. And going into work, like, I was like, I'm gonna raise some hell. And it's not like me to do that. Like, I'm not big for confrontation. Or what, you got something? Go
I was gonna say, all the years I've known you, this is not typically your behavior.
Sure, exactly. And I'm getting worked up just thinking about it again. It's not even happening to me again.
I hear it in your voice. I like this. Go ahead, keep going.
So, it's like I said, it's not like me to do that. I'm not a fan of confrontation. But now that I did it, I feel like I could do it again and again and again. And so anyways, went into the office when I got there, raised hell at my supervisors and telling them how this is BS. This is, you're going to screw me over on this day, basically giving my boss so much shit. Because they know they're not supposed to do that either. And here they are, doing it to me on a freaking weekend. In the middle of the week, I probably wouldn't have been so mad. But because it's the weekend and I want to bang out my route that I know I could be done with by like 5:30, be home by like 6:15, 6:30, spend a half hour with the kid before we put him down to sleep. Here I am getting put on another route that, one, goes out with probably 20 or 30 more stops than my route does. All right, so it's heavier, it's bulkier, there's more packages, there's this and that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I know that route from when I used to cover, so it's not like I'm going to an area I don't know. You know what I mean? I know the area, but still, it's a matter of the fact that they did this when they weren't supposed to. And so, anyways, bottom of the line, the bottom of the story here, the moral of the story here is that I went in there and raised hell and created this confrontation when that's very unlike me. And because I did it once and I stepped up and I put my foot down, I feel like I could do it again and again if I had to. You know what I mean? And just like without even a blink of the eye or, thinking about it, I would go in there and just do it again. And now, does that go with other situations? Because, my wife nurses, right? And I've always thought about if we were out and she had to feed the kid and there's going to be that one asshole that's going to say something, how quick I would be. Probably just my switch would flip so quick and that confrontation would start so quick, and I'd probably freak out on that person so hard, and it's just like, so there's like different things like that you got to worry about in life. And, have you ever had a situation like that too?
Yeah, actually, recently a guy basically drove like shit. Long story short, he stopped and put us in a compromising position right after he turned into a parking lot and left us hanging out into the main road. And he did it because he wanted to turn into the first parking lot entrance, but it was already blocked. But there was so much room and so many more entrances to the parking lot. He didn't need to do that. He was literally just being a dick. In other words, he was like, no, I want this. I don't care who's behind me or what's in front of me. I'm taking this no matter what. And it was kind of like, well, bro, you have mad chances. Like, just drive up a couple more yards and you're good. But our ass is hanging out into the main street. We have a baby on board and my son in the car. My wife is driving. Obviously, she honks. He doesn't move. Honks again. He gets attitude, wheels around, pulls into the parking lot. We pull into the parking lot, but we're going to 4 stores over, obviously. So we pull out way, way, way far away. We're not looking for confrontation.
Right.
We're just literally
dude,
hey,
get out of the way.
We're gonna go pick up groceries,
Right. It's
this
like, dude.
fucker,
It's like, dude, my ass is hanging out in the middle of the road back here, as people are probably flying by you, and it's just like, I got my kid, I got my baby, get the fuck out of the way, type of thing. I understand. Go ahead.
Correct. He's not being considerate, right?
Yep.
And so, and this is where I'm going to bring the point to you because I think you're going through something that I realized recently. So I park, and then I noticed he parks where he wanted to park, which was at Burlington, but apparently they were shopping at Sprouts that day. So he walks 4 stores worth of parking lots over to me, like a beeline towards me, like he was going to do something. Big old fat middle aged fucker, right? And hiding behind some shades, of course, tough guy driving a fun day, fucking Hyundai. So he makes a beeline toward me. I pull up my wife, my baby, Micah, my son. We get out of the car, and I notice he's making a beeline. But I'm like, this guy ain't gonna do shit. I can already tell. I already know. I've been around the block enough to know he's not gonna do shit. So we go up and we go in there, and he's like right behind us, entering the entrance. Right. I'm thinking to myself, like, is he really shopping here? Or is he gonna pretend like he's gonna confront me? This is what this bitch of a man did. I hope he listens someday to this. You're a bitch man, by the way. We go in. He waits until I go to grab some bagels from the shelf while my wife was at the cart with the baby and my son. He confronts my wife, bro.
Oh.
You want to talk about a switch?
Oh yeah.
Do you know when people get nervous when they're about to, like, something's about to happen?
Mm-hmm.
I rolled up on him, bro. There
Like
was no nerves. It
like-
was just action time.
Like your
It
hands
was
start
literally
shaking.
like, yeah, I didn't even shake, bro. There was no shake. I was ready to drop this fool. Like, I wasn't even shaking. I used to be scared in confrontation and shake a little bit. Now it's just like I know what I need to do. Like, it'll go 0 to 1,000, not
Oh, yeah.
100.
Mhm.
I already knew that I had to take this dude out if he wanted to try any shit. So as soon as I went to him, I cut to the chase and was like, "You're inconsiderate. You left my ass hanging out there. I have a baby. If that baby got hit by a car or we got in a car accident and you hurt my family, this conversation wouldn't even happen. You would feel like shit. You'd feel like a shit human." And then he was just, well, and then, stumbling over words,
Yep.
and then his wife or girlfriend, whoever was with him, had to grab him and walk away. Now, I didn't shy away from that conversation. I didn't back down. A lot of men would. A lot of men act tough, and then when it's time to step up and get in front of someone's face, they don't because a lot of them don't want to rock the boat and they're scared that something's going to happen. But listen, guys, when you are a family man, a lot of people make fun of family men. A lot of people talk shit, whatever. We are the toughest motherfuckers on the planet. And I'll tell you why. Because we will do whatever it takes to protect our family, to preserve our family, to make more money for our family. It is survival of the fittest. It is now biologically ingrained in our body that if I had to drop this motherfucker inside of Sprouts with a bottle of wine or some fucking asparagus, I was gonna do it. So I was not afraid of confrontation whatsoever. I walked up with the intention of I will do however I have to do this. Whatever the escalation will take, it will go down right now in Sprouts. I'll be down to do whatever it takes to not let my family get hurt or in trouble. Do you see what I'm saying? So you going into that office had every intention of getting what you and your family deserve because he was not just fucking you, he was fucking your family. And that is crossing the line. You do that to me, that's one thing. Okay, we'll talk about it later, whatever. But you do that to me and my family, what represents me and mine. No, sir. Now it is not okay. Confrontation is 1,000% going to happen now. So, like, I get your vibe, but what's coming from now is no longer. It's not just Dave. Because when you were younger, I knew you let shit like that slide probably, and so would I. But no, you are in charge of something bigger than yourself. That is your family.
Right. And when I got back to the building that night, I was talking to two guys, very nice guys who drive the tractor trailers there. And, because I was, this happened to me. I drive the brown delivery trucks in residential business areas, whatever. These are the guys I drive to the airports. You know what I mean? And I was talking to these dudes because they worked the overnight shift. So they were there when I got back. And I was talking to them about it. And even they said basically the same exact thing that you just said was, not only did they screw you over, they screwed you and your family over because you got to do what's best for your family. And, it's basically the same type of thing that you were just talking about. And it's funny how that just came full circle. But, it's totally true. Totally true. And, dude, just the whole confrontation thing, if you're scared to do it, let me tell you something. Once you do it, you're going to feel a hell of a lot better. And even though there may be that nervousness at first, there may be, some butterflies in your stomach and your adrenaline's going and you're ready to go, create this confrontation, just do it. Just do it, because let me tell you, I never thought I'd be able to go and like do something and be like that pissed off about something and literally express it like right to someone's face. I did, and you know what? I walked out of that office feeling like a boss. Let me tell you, like I walked out of that office feeling badass, and I was like, I could do this again and again and again if I had to. You know, I don't know.
Not everyone needs a strong confrontation. Some
Right.
people do, and those that do are usually the most hard-headed, inconsiderate ones, and the ones that really do not see what's in front of them. So sometimes people need to be rattled really, really hard for them to realize, like, oh damn, I was screwing that guy and I didn't even know it. And they don't have the intention of per
Right.
se screwing people, or maybe they do, but
It's
reality is a lot of them are blinded by whatever situation that's in their own head, you know.
right. To them, it's all about the numbers. To the bosses, it's all about their numbers. You know, it's about making themselves look good, and they'll do whatever it takes to make themselves look good. You know, and there's so many times that we they would say, hell, could you do me a favor? And when I first started that job, I'm like, yeah, okay, because I wanted to look good. But then I finally realized that it was all about making them look good. And now let me tell you, I don't do many favors anymore.
Yeah, you got to be careful who you're helping, man, for sure.
No, dude, yeah. And that's even another thing the guy said there, too. The tractor trailer driver to me. He said, you don't know who to trust in this building anymore. Like it's crazy. So anyways.
That's life, man. And
Dude,
if you did not confront him, bro, if you did not do that and put your foot down, who knows how far he would have took you, and that's the thing is people take advantage of people that let them take advantage of, and that's the thing. A lot of people want to play victim, like, oh, well, I got to work a double this week. Well, did you say yes? Yeah. All right. Well, you're the dummy who said yes. You let them do that to you. You are not a victim. You've decided to be a victim. So you got to put your foot down and say no when it's time to say no, or say something, speak up for yourself.
Right. And that's the thing, just like you said, being taken advantage of. I went in there and I showed them, listen, I'm not happy that you're taking advantage of me, because there's somebody else they could have put on that route. They didn't have to pull me off that route because they wanted to look good. They knew I was going to get it done at a proper time. Well, I didn't. Guess what? I didn't get it done at a proper time. No, I stayed out late. I worked extra slow. Hope you're listening, bosses. Yeah. Anyways, that's how I feel about that situation.
Shit. Took my sweet ass time, baby.
Yeah. Anyways, so we got to end this here. We got I know we're a little bit of a time crunch tonight. It's kind of an earlier time for us to record, but anyways, I want to read a 5-star review that Mr. Wade W. Wilson left us. Thank you.
Shout out to Deadpool, Wade W. Wilson.
Yep. Shout out to Deadpool, Mr. Wade W. Wilson. He says, these two rascals. Thanks. I already like it. He goes, I know, right? You're probably thinking, whose balls did these guys have to fondle to get their very own podcast? I appreciate that. But he says, all jokes aside, great podcast. I enjoy listening in. Great job, Dave and Mike. Looking forward to future episodes. Thank you, Mr. Wade W. Wilson.
That's awesome. Guys, I want to see some more of these reviews. Some of my clients have been giving me feedback in the shop saying that's very, very interesting. Some people really don't know how to take us yet. They're like, they listen and they're just like, it's different, man. It's different. And I'm like, hopefully you mean different in a good way, not like
different's good, right?
You guys are lost.
Different's good. Oh, yeah, and also, guess what? I'm down 13 pounds, still dropping, and that's pretty sweet. I actually started this new thing now. I used to before when my wife gets up I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. My wife leaves the house with the kid to go to work around 7 o'clock in the morning. And, she takes the kid to daycare, drops him off because it's on her way to work, and then she goes to work. I would usually get up, help her out with the kid, and then when she leaves, I'd go back to sleep for 45 minutes, and I don't have to be to work till like 8:45. Now, I'm staying up every time she leaves, and I've started playing the drums in the morning. and getting myself a good little workout there, a good little cardio type workout there, and constantly going. And I'm playing some good stuff, some of that Emery music, some of the Under Oath music, and getting a good workout for a half hour, 45 minutes in the morning now. And then let me tell you, I feel good like after that. And then I go to work. I just started this last week, actually. And then, do that, shower, get ready for work. And when I'm out there working, like, I just feel energized. I feel great. It's pretty neat. It's pretty cool. So I'm still going, man.
It's funny, man. I noticed that in the mornings when I work out, I have better days energy wise. And I think it's something to do with moving your blood, like getting your blood to circulate through your body before you start your day.
And then I also picked up some of those Gatorade protein bars. I got like 20 grams of protein in them. I've been taking one of those with me. I'll eat that on my way to work, kind of refuel there and all that, and then get my day going. So it's been good.
That's good to hear, man. Very nice.
Yeah, so still dropping. I seem to be like 1 pound a week, which is fine with me for not really going to the gym. So
no, it's excellent, man. As long as you're staying active and you're eating a pretty good calorie intake, keep it somewhat low, you're gonna be fine, bro. I'm actually I'm doing the Body Beast program now. I'm in like week 6 or 7. And it's just straight bodybuilding with a lot of, like, I guess you'd call it pump work, just a lot of volume. And I like it, man. It's 45 minutes to even 35 minutes at a time. So I'm in, out. I knock that shit out quick, and that's all I need. I'm not into cardio. I'm not really heavy, so I don't need a lot of cardio. And maybe come summertime, I may add like 1 or 2 days of cardio in just to slim down a little bit. Because
go skate.
There's pools,
Oh yeah, well that too. Pools, yes, but yeah, but I would love to get back into skating some more too, because that helps. So
I know my board's just sitting here, and I don't know. I just look at it every so often, and that's it.
Anyways, that's pretty much gonna wrap it up. So guys, spoil your kids if you want. Who cares, I guess.
But be willing to deal with that entitlement later on if you want to spoil them. Just go ahead and get ready for that.
Right. Know what's going to be coming in the later days after that. Also, the confrontation, guys. Face that confrontation. You're going to feel so much better when you do. You're going to feel so much better. So
don't let people punk you, man. Don't let people punk you. Don't be a punk. Don't get punked, man. Because you know what happens when you get punked? You carry that shit around you, and that depresses people. Don't be a punk.
Yep. And again, check us out, ttclpod.com. You can find all of the social media links for the podcast and us personally on there. Michael, I'll catch you next week, bud.
Yes, sir. Take it easy, my guy.
Later.